what I've seen is 90% of people nowadays have forgotten that they need to dream.
When you're 16, 17, that's the time when you have to explore things. That's the time when you have to figure out what actually makes you interested and excited in life.
I wanted to tell my parents that I want to drop out in my second year itself because my startup was picking pace and things were going well. And that's when two things happened. One, my parents said no, and second, COVID happened. Was it a chaos in your head as well?
It
Because of
was.
so much happening.
It was because you're taking a decision which is going to change your life significantly.
If the people we look up to, let it be our parents, anyone, show it to us that I believe in you, hits us in a way that it boosts that energy to a level that we cannot even imagine. Hello everyone, welcome to the sixth episode of the Awaaz Podcast. Today we have someone whose journey is quite inspiring and would be very relatable if you are a college kid. Okay, and somewhere I feel I related to it a lot because I had a similar journey. It's just that I never dropped out, but they did. It's none other than Divyam and Chirag from Mutton Media. Today we have Divyam where he talks about his journey while in college, building up in college, and then finally dropping out in the final year to pursue the start of their company full time. And now they are one of the top content agencies in Bangalore, working with the top founders, creators, and unicorn startups. So I really hope you love the episode because there's a lot to learn from this, and I really wish you see it till the end. So all the best, and let's listen. Hi Divyam, I actually have known you for quite a while since somewhere I feel you have connected on LinkedIn quite a few times through our posts or things like that. I've known like fairly what your journey has been, and I recently also got to know that you had a major accident because of which, at least for a month or two, you were bedridden and you were in the hospital, things like that, right?
The whole quarter.
From what I understand, it has been a very topsy turvy road for you, okay? And things have not been every time like the way you wanted it to be, right? That accident happening and possibly other things as well. It might have not been, definitely it's not in our control. That's one, but uh, we sometimes wish some, let's take some things to happen and it doesn't go that way, and let's take the whole dynamic of the universe comes into play and things happen whenever they have to happen, right? So with that, why don't you tell us something about what is your journey? Who is Divyam? Okay. And how did the whole journey of Mutton Media start?
Sweet. Thanks for the introduction, Laksha. I'll start with the most difficult one, which is who am I, right? I think this is one question that uh, is an ever-evolving question, right? There is no definitive answer to this question, and we always come up with a definition. I mean, not a definition, but an understanding, and it keeps evolving because I mean, we grow as people, and the definition of who you are also evolves. So, with my case, I'm a person who always likes to be on his toe, right? I like to go outside the house. I like to explore things. I like to meet people. I like um, to try new things, if I have to summarize that. It could be anything under the sun. That's how I've been since a kid, right? I was that kid who was into dancing, football, volleyball, singing, drawing, uh, and even great at studying. So
Everything except studies.
no, studies as well. Studies as well. I was the class topper, 95% plus continuously. In fact, in 11th grade, I still have a Facebook post which says Divyam Goenka, rank one holder on Facebook, and I have a lot of hate comments on that. Why would you do that? Why would you publicly post a picture of you bragging that you're the first, the first rank holder in the class? So I've worn multiple hats. I know how to play the guitar. I do photography. So, like I said, I love to try new things and I keep trying new things, and that's just who I am. Uh, uh, Yeah, so I think that this tells you everything about me as a person in a minute. Coming to my journey, that's actually a pretty interesting one because I come from I wouldn't even call it a tier 8 city, right? I come from a place which is not even a district, a very small town in Madhya Pradesh called Kotma. Uh, to give a reference to people, River Narmada originates just 80 kilometers from my house at this place called Amarkantak. So that's how remote of an area I belong to. The closest airport to my place is 300, roughly 300 kilometers, which is Raipur, Chhattisgarh. So till eighth grade, I was there, and then since there were no better educational opportunities in my town, I went to Kota in ninth grade. So for 4 years, I was in Kota. In the first 2 years, I figured out that I don't wanna do IIT or medical for that matter. So I still continued being in Kota, but I wasn't into a coaching center and was part of the Kota factory. I was quite the opposite. I took a normal 12th grade schooling there from modern school Kota, and I met some amazing bunch of folks there. I learned how to play the guitar. I learned photography, and that's how from there I transitioned to. And I mean, actually, there's a bit of a curve to wanting to be a photographer, a wildlife photographer in between when I got my camera. But that hobby is too soon. I mean, I got over it, and then I wanted to be a photojournalist, which is why I joined Christ University, Bangalore in 2017. And after the first 2 years, I met my co-founder. By the way, we started a different venture altogether when we were in our first year of college together. It was in the street vending space, which was called Streetopreneurs. And after working on it for 2 years, we started a new venture to fund the old venture because I mean we were college kids. Nobody was there to give us money to
Correct,
build what we
correct.
wanted to build. So we started a media company because I used to do cinematography and photography. So I was into design. So we started a media company. We're like, you know what? Let's just take freelance gigs and build whatever we're building on the side. Uh, Whatever we were building on the side, that didn't pan out. But then Mutter Media came into being. It's been 4 years, 4 amazing years of building Mutter Media. And here we are. To explain what Mutter Media is, we're a content company which can make sure that you get the best content possible at any budget uh, and at any quality, right? If your budget is as small as a 10,000 rupee video to 20 lakh video campaign, we take care of it globally. So that's who we are.
I actually have so many questions to ask, but I'll just focus on a few which I think are very important. First things first, I guess going to Kota must have been a very transitional journey for you because, uh, as you said, you somewhere cannot even say where your city comes from, right? Your town comes from. And then totally shifting the whole dynamic to Kota is a very big change. That's one. Secondly, what I would say is that recently we might have heard a lot of things around, let's take things happening in Kota, right? Students taking, different decisions around, let's take suicides and, things like that, right? I somewhere feel there's a big mental turmoil that goes because a lot of peer pressure is there. There's a lot of like, let's take responsibilities that like students take in without even knowing, right? So, firstly, what is your take on that? Because you have been there. Okay, I actually was studying 200 kilometers away from Kota. I was in Pilani in a
Okay.
boarding school.
Okay.
Okay, so I have a fair idea of how things are really. But I would want to know firsthand of what is let's take the environment in Kota from you.
Kota is a different city vibe altogether. Uh, I don't think any other place in the country can simulate a Kota experience, right? Like how Bangalore is known for its tech parks, right? Kota is known for its coaching institutes. People earn, like, I mean, the primary source of people earning there is rental income from students, right? The culture of paying guest. I mean, Kota is one of the pioneers in that in the entire country. But that has a huge cost. The cost is that we are sending 16, 17-year-olds to that city. 16, 17-year-olds from mostly North Indian states like MP, UP, Bihar, Jharkhand, Odisha. where these kids have never lived apart from their house, and they've just sent to the city where they have no one else but a dream of being an IITian, right? And which is very wrong in my opinion, because when you tell a 16-year-old that you don't have anything else in life but study for 16 hours a day for something that you don't even fully understand, right? I think that's it's a very difficult place for anyone to be in, and I don't recommend that to anybody. Whenever a relative, a distant relative, calls me and asks me that, "यार तू कोटा गया था? Do you think I should send my kid, or how can we send them to Kota?" I'm like, please don't send. If you love your kid, do not do that to them. So that's my take on Kota, and the primary reason is that when you're in your such formative years of your career, when you're 16, 17, that's the time when you have to explore things. That's the time when you have to figure out what actually makes you interested and excited in life. But at that age, when you are given a goal so high, right? 16 lakh people give the JEE exam and only 9,000 get into IIT. You can do the math. What's the conversion percentage? But when such a big target is posed to them at such a young age, I mean, dealing with failure, and that to such a big failure where your parents have taken a loan to send you for studies, it just hits you very.
Correct. It actually does. And I guess that is where a lot of students take in that unknown responsibility in themselves, that they have to prove that yes, they're worth it. And that's where, people take that chance. Somewhere I feel yours and mine stories are very similar. Similar to you, I'm actually involved in a lot of things like sketching, music, dancing, playing a lot of sports actually. Okay, football, cricket, lots of things. And accordingly, I was well off in studies as well. I won't say I was a rank one, but I was in the top five, I'll say. Okay. But with that, you also mentioned that you didn't ever have, let's take, a will to go for, let's take, any IIT, let's take, college, right? Why is that?
I think so. According to how the system is designed, in CBSE schools, which is primarily mostly the students go to, you get to pick a subject in 10th grade, and then in 11th you pick one which is commerce, arts, maths, or science,
Correct.
and then you go to IT. I got to take that decision 2 years earlier. I got to take that in ninth grade. So I had 2 years to figure out if what I'm taking, if it will actually work out or not. So in ninth grade itself, I got the chance to experiment by living the life of what an 11th grader would do. And I hated it. I was like, I still have the chance. Let me just run away from it as far as I can. Which is why, forget IIT, I didn't even take maths. I took commerce in 11th grade. And I was like, I'll do whatever I want, but not this. I was heavily criticized. I was criticized by my relatives, a bit by my parents, that why are you even in Kota if you haven't taken maths or science?
I actually same question, but okay.
So, dude, my rationale was I don't want to go back to my town, right? That's definitely a downgrade in terms of education. Secondly, it was too much effort for me to find a new school in 11th grade. And I was not in the right family situations where my parents could do that, like find a school, send me there, and things like that. So I had to take my own call at that particular time, and I was like, you know what? Let me just take a good school in Kota. And I think it worked out really well. Like I loved the school, I loved the people. So my rationale was simply based out of comfort at that point.
No, that's actually a very good point, which I think in that age, a lot of people need to choose. Okay. You have to focus on things that you are comfortable with. You might not be great at it, but you're comfortable with. And that is the decision that I guess you took with photography and cinematography, and then you went to Christ, right? We'll come to the next part of the question where I actually wanted to know, you started for the first venture with Chirag itself, correct? And then you started another venture which was basically focused towards using to fund the initial venture,
Yes.
correct? I would want to know let's say, what is it like starting up in your first year of college? Because I also did in my first year of college, right? I would want to know what is it like from your end.
So, what is it like? I think for me, like I said, right, my personality is trying new things. So for me, it was more like okay, I'm doing media studies and I'm getting to build a business, or I'm getting a chance to build something with a person from a business background, which I was doing in BBA. So we met at Enactus. Enactus is an organization which is present in different universities across the globe, which promotes the culture of social entrepreneurship, where you have social entrepreneurship projects and students are supposed to build a particular venture which with a social angle. So we did that around street vendors, but then the idea was to take it out of Enactus. The idea was to make it bigger than just a college project, and college didn't want that. College wanted it to have control over it, and it's still being a college project and an artist initiative. So at that point, I gave up. I was like, I don't want to build it as a college project, and I moved out of it at the end of first year. Chirag continued for the next 1 year or so. So the entire second year, so we were together for our first years of college. Second year, we had different journeys. I went into building another venture. It was called Curiosity, where I used to organize experiences for college students, be it treks, be it meetups, be it communities. So that's what I used to do. Ran that for a year, had a lot of fun building it. Then in final year, we came back together when Chirag was able to finally convince the authority that now it's going to come outside college. So he worked on it for a year. Then in the final year, he was like, okay, you know what? We'll building it outside college. And then I joined again. So then
Okay.
curiosity was over, and then I joined Chirag again, and we started building towards it. And then then we took the decision to drop out of college in the final year. So
You guys dropped
that's,
out?
oh, you didn't know that?
No, I actually did not know that.
We dropped out of college in our final year,
Both of you guys.
both of us together.
Before the final year.
And in the final year, it's fifth semester.
Okay, that's almost like in the middle of the year.
Yeah, we were 2 months into the final, I mean, into the fifth semester. So
Correct.
roughly 8 to 9 months of college was left.
Wow. Okay. This is new. Okay. So coming from, let's take that place in Madhya Pradesh, then
Kotma.
Kota.
Hmm.
Okay. I'm actually not being able to pronounce it properly. Okay.
Kotma, Kotma, yes.
Okay. Kota. Okay.
Huh.
So coming from there, then going to Kota, then Bangalore, then dropping out. What was the mental state that you guys were in? Because see, again, we come from Indian families, so our parents have a big say in what we do. Okay, and that's fair. Okay, from their side as well. We have friends, so peer pressure things, lots of things come into play as well. What was the mental state, the mindset that you and Chirag both had, where you both let's take an opportunity to drop out of college and start something from scratch?
Oh, it took a lot of mental peace, is how I'd like to put it, man. Just firstly, I mean, I look at my life into three transitions, right? Right. The first transition is not taking the IIT route, right? Saying I don't want to do IIT. That is in 10th grade. The second route is then going for a photojournalism college. Um, because when I took the call of not doing IIT, I didn't even know how to use a camera. So I learned that over a set over this period of time, and then uh, choosing to take a course which teaches you photojournalism, and then dropping out of college. Right. So these are three transitions of my life, and that's how primarily, like, when I introspect, I look at myself, because these are inflection points I see, because these are decisions which have changed my life in a lot of manners. So and all when I was taking decisions at all these 3 points, right? It was very difficult, man. It was very difficult. At the first one, I was being questioned a lot of, what, you got the opportunity of going to Kota in ninth grade, getting a head start and preparing for IIT. People would die to do that, and you're getting
Correct.
it, and you have that opportunity and letting it go. I don't want that opportunity. Right? The opportunity is not for me. I tried it; it doesn't work for me. So it was a lot to convince family, relatives, and just listen to all the drama there. Second was now when everyone was convinced that, okay, you know what, you've taken commerce, and go to BBA, right? I mean, why do you have to come from, like, start from maths, go to commerce, and now shift to arts? right? So then for them it was like, like what are you trying to become? Like, do you want to be like Farhan Qureshi from Three Idiots or what? And I was like, just let me
Oh,
do.
right.
It's like let me do my thing. And then dropping out of college was like, now at least you're in an arts degree that I mean, effectively it means nothing, but just finish it and get something. Didn't do that as well. So I think at every single point in the past three instances, it was very difficult. It was very difficult to convince family, convince relatives, listen to friends. So yeah, it was chaos.
Was it a chaos in your head as well
It
because
was
of so much happening?
it was because I mean, look at it, yeah. Um, you're taking a decision which is going to change your life significantly. Like it's not a decision of if I want to eat pizza or burger for dinner, or it's not a decision of if I want to go to X school or Y school, right? It's a big decision of like actually choosing a road. Like I mean, there was this popular poem in ninth grade, which I'm sure all of us have read through, which is "The Road Not Taken" by Robert Frost. And I was like,
Yeah,
okay, you know what? Let me just listen to my calling and figure out, I mean, do whatever I want to do. So I've always been the person who has done it, whatever he wants to do. And I've tried, on every single point of time, I've tried convincing whoever is coming the way.
that's actually, it, from what I see, it takes a lot of risk, it takes a lot of effort, it takes a lot of courage to be, very specific to take these decisions because I was at a position. So I basically did. I went to Pilani, but I never studied for IIT. Okay, I had fair, listed decision in mind कि competitive के लिए तो नहीं पढ़ना है. ठीक है? That is one. Second was that IIT नहीं जाना है at any cost. Okay, so I went to VIT. Okay, the other private sector IIT. Okay, I when I started as well, so it was mostly around my first year of college only at the end, and my startup was basically in the creator economy field where we were working with performing artists and things like that, right? I actually had the same thing where I wanted to tell my parents that I want to drop out in my second year itself because my startup was picking pace and things were going well. And that's when two things happened. One, my parents said no, and second, COVID happened. So where I feel COVID also gave me, let's take an opportunity to explore more. Okay, gave me that head start to, let's take, be in the industry a little earlier than I wanted to. Okay, and all of this happened without even me thinking. It was just like it just kept happening. It was just like you, like the road was just right there, and I was like, okay, let's try it out. Okay, let's explore it. Okay, so that's where I know what courage it really, really takes to take these decisions first and then execute and move towards that, right? With that, somewhere I have known that Mutter Media has done really good in the last, let's take, 3 to 4 years, right? What would you say about the journey for Mutter Media as a company? Because you guys have grown from, let's take, 0 to now 10, I guess, right? So, what would you say about your journey? Because I have also seen that you guys recently worked with Ashneer Grover's third unicorn and others as well, right? So, what about that journey, Mutter Media? And what is Mutter Media really? Like, how did that name come into play?
I mean, the name has a much bigger story. I'll have to explain. I mean, if I have to give you a simple, abridged version of that, basically, when I was explaining you right that Chirag convinced the college that we'll be taking this project outside and build it. So they said you can't use the same name if you're doing it with, and the name was Street Entrepreneurs, which was Streetopreneurs. And 2.5 months down the line, we still didn't have a name after coming out, after taking it out of the college. And then we had to register it because we were going for branding and IP related things. So, since we were not able to come up with a name, we just told each other that if we're not able to come up with a name for the company, the first thing that we see on the table tomorrow morning is going to be the name. Right. And we woke up, the cook bhaiya came in with a bunch of peas matter, uh, probably to make matar paneer or whatever. We woke up, we saw that, and it was like, it's okay. We took as a joke for the first few days that okay, you know what, like, Matar hi to naam hai. And then it just grew on us. Like we were
Yeah.
just like, you know what, let it be, let Matar be the name. Uh, and to our surprise, you won't believe, Laksha, but it's been 4 years. People who we've met in the first year of our journey, they have forgotten the names of Divyam and Chirag, but they just remember the name of Matar. Like it's so easy to pronounce. It's so easy to pronounce.
The household.
Yeah, it has such high recall value that it's just on top of the tongue of every single person. Yeah, Matar, like there have been so many instances where people have called us Matar, Emtar, I don't know, like so many names, thinking it or matter for that matter. Uh, but when I tell them, yaar, ye to aloo matar wala matar hai, they're like, oh, really? Like, whoa. uh, and then there's a nice chuckle, like you just said, right? So it stays with people. So that's where the name came from. But coming to your question, which is how was our journey, right, from the get-go? Yeah, we pivoted multiple times. We started as a full stack marketing company. Ki yaar, since we wanted to fund the other business, we were like, whatever we get, we're gonna take it. Be it social media, be it performance marketing, be it photography, be it anything that comes out to the sun. We'll figure it out. We'll do it. That was the idea, because the idea was never to build an agency or anything in the media creative space. But then that happened for 8 months, and then we were like, you know what, like करने के लिए तो कर ले रहे हैं. Like we can do it for the sake of it, but it's not making sense for us to continue doing all of these things. So we dropped everything and we just like fixed ourselves on content that we'll only stick to photo and video content, because that's what we specialize in as individuals, and that's our interest area. And then let's continue doing that. The moment we did that,
Okay.
15 days later, COVID hit. Had we taken the route of doing performance marketing or design, those are services which can be done remotely. You cannot shoot content virtually, right? I mean, we are doing it right now, but this is post-pandemic technologies. Like things like these didn't exist pre-pandemic, right? And still, I mean, in today as well, like you can't have shoots done online. So after taking the decision of being a content company, within 15 days, we are out of business. And we don't know when things will come back. So for the next 2 months, we have to pack our bags, go home. I think that's one of the
Yeah.
lowest times of my life, because I had dropped out of college, started a company, and that company has no business now. And now there's a pandemic, which I don't know when you'll get over. So I mean, everything was gone, right?
This was around 20.
Yes, yes. So for 2 months we went back home, and then I remember the date clearly. 26th May is when the flights kicked back in. That the flight, I mean, with a lot of restrictions, flights are functional. I came back to Bangalore on 1st June, right? 4 days after the relaxations happened. And those were difficult times, man. Like those were times when you had to wear PPE kits and whatnot in flights. And my parents were very scared because like COVID was on the rise and they're letting a kid go into into a city where I have nothing figured out. There were no clients. There was nothing. I was just like, let me just go to Bangalore. I'll figure things out. And then we came to Bangalore and we got an edtech client. Right? Edtech was a new word back in 2020. Uh, we got an edtech client. We made some courses for them. Uh, they really liked it, and from there they connected us to a few people, and then they connected us to a few people, and then for the next 1 year, all we did was edtech projects. We made courses after courses after courses after ads after courses, and just for 1 year we were doing everything edtech. I mean, we felt like after a point, should we just call ourselves like an edtech content company? But then that bubble was soon gone. I think after 2021, edtech came down. Uh, but I mean, we were smart enough to diversify by then. We had a lot of fashion clients, we had a lot of SaaS clients, right? So from there, from 2021, I think till today, we have established ourselves as a credible name in the content space, where we've shot for folks like Ashni, we've shot for Nikhil Kamath, Zerodha, Grow, Aether, Razorpay, right? Pretty much, I mean, we can pick good 10 to 15 unicorns out of the list that we have to work with them and a lot of the clients. So I think the journey has been an exciting one. Lots of ups and downs, and the worst part being those 2 months of pandemic.
So, talking about those 2 months specifically, you were at home possibly, right? Right. And then I guess again the whole chaos of everyone around us comes into play because you were dropped out of college. Business, you had to, let's say, somewhere pause, things like that, right? I would want to ask, were there nights, were there times where you had to just sit with yourself, get your shit together, and then believe in yourself to just start again, no matter what? Because then, after 2 months going, after a while, going back to Bangalore was again a big decision, right? So, if there were times, can you talk a little about that? And how did you as a person overcome those specific times?
Uh, to Ramayan help. I was very low. I was low most of the times. And then there was this time when I used to watch Ramayan. The Ramayan was being aired again. Right. Two, I mean, one in the morning, one in the evening. I used to watch the same episode that aired in the morning and the evening again. Once alone, once with my family. Uh, and I think, I mean, till I was home till eighth grade, I had watched all of Ramayana, Bharat, heard a lot of stories from my granddad. So when it was aired again, right, I was old enough to understand the complexities of these two epics because I mean, by far, these are two pieces of stories or epics that have taught me a lot as an individual, be it in terms of education, relationships, and society in general. So when it was aired again, I used to watch it with my family, and I think right after that, I used to talk to my granddad that this is what I'm feeling. I don't even have a degree. Uh, what do you think I'll be able to do? Like, I just feel like everything is coming down, like whatever we planned for. So my granddad told me that, I mean, get yourself out of this place when you get the first opportunity. So I think that advice really helped. And yeah, I was out when the first opportunity came out, the relaxation set, and I was out of that place. I was in Bangalore and we were back to figuring things out. So uh, I think it's sometimes at points like these when you're low, simple advices like these. I mean, right now when I'm saying it, feels like, oh, it was so simple. Yeah, whenever like just look forward, like go day after days, and then whenever you get the first opportunity, just like you know, move forward. So I mean, right now it feels like it's just few words that you read on Instagram or on LinkedIn. But when you're low and it's contextual, it hits specifically when it comes from a person that you look up to. So when it came from my granddad, I think I was able to feel better in that moment, and I was able to take sane decisions.
I somewhere feel. So there is this one line by Jack Ma where he says that when no one believes in you, whether it be your parents, friends, anyone, you should believe in yourself and your team should believe in the work that you're doing, right? I have somewhere felt if the people we look up to, let it be our parents, let's take our grandparents, anyone, even if they believe in us and they show it to us that I believe in you, even 1% of it hits us in a way that it boosts that energy to a level that we cannot even imagine. And I guess that is what that hit you, that you took another jump and went back to Bangalore and things started to turn around and work, right?
Absolutely.
So actually I have like a similar experience and I totally relate to it. But coming back to, let's take your part of the story. Um, Recently, I guess you met with an accident as well, right? And I somewhere feel that whole timeline, you must have had a good chance to rethink a lot of things, understand what you are in person, because I guess you had a near-death experience. I'm not totally aware of the whole situation, but yeah, and I guess a lot of things then you just start introspecting about what am I really doing, right? And there are lots of nights where you just feel alone. You just feel like this the whole mental trauma thing that I'm going through. Is this what I'm? Like, is this what is meant to be for me, right? Would you want to talk about that a little if you're open to?
I mean, I think I'm okay now. Um, it came to me, it just hit me as a big surprise because up until that moment, I had never gotten even a single stitch on my body or probably a fracture or anything. Like for 25 years, I was clean, man. Like I had only visited hospitals for my friends, for this and that and whatever. But when the accident happened and I was in the hospital, and I came back after the operation, and they told me, these are the things that has happened to you. I wasn't able to believe completely. I was like, wait, what? Like, 25 साल का सब एक साथ? Like, what is this? Like, was it all getting EMI'd all this while? It was bad. It was bad. I wasn't able to get up from the bed for 26 days. From 1st July to 26th July, I spent all the time in bed. There were bruises all throughout my body. It was a pretty major accident. A few broken bones. Right. So, and those times are very difficult. Those times are very difficult because, like I've told you in the initial part of the story, I like going out. I can't stay inside. And here, by force, I'm staying inside a place. And this is also not Bangalore. This is not my home. I'm in Gurgaon. My accident happened in Gurgaon. So I'm in an alien place, which is my mom, right, who's taking care of me. And I've had sleepless nights. Like I wasn't able to get sleep because of the pain. I was just like questioning uh, life and decisions and where I am and how could I have avoided this situation if altogether I could. So it was a very very difficult time, right? And um, I think if you ask me what was something that helped, uh, I don't think anything helped. It was just me lying in bed and by brute force making sure that every hour passes by. Right? It was that for the first 27 days. After that, because of my physiotherapist, I was able to walk again. By the way, I learned how to walk again. So it was probably you can say a near death experience revert, and then you learn the basics, right? So I learned how to walk again in the next 15-20 days. And then I came to Bangalore. When I came to Bangalore, I remember I think last week I went to a third wave. I used to work out a third wave very often. I went to a third wave coffee house and it felt alien to me. It felt like, oh, why are people working out of a cafe? Why can't they be at home and work? Like it was just like that to me because I was not in that setup for like almost 3 months. And so it has been very difficult. Like even today, I go to office like once in 2 weeks now. And when I see the team working in an office setup, people running, people being happy and empowered with things, I just feel like going to them and telling them, buddy, just like probably stop, enjoy this moment for a bit longer, and then carry on. Just realize how grateful you are to be fine, and uh, just carry with your life.
No, that's definitely there. I guess um, that's so. I had a surgery last year, okay, for both my legs, and I was in a similar position, and not as let's take um, at the places where you were at, but yeah, fairly. So yes, there are times where things make you think that yeah, really, if you're doing what you're doing is right or not. Okay, I myself am at the place currently right now where I'm still trying to understand where I'm heading. Is it the right direction or not? I'm just going. I'm like, okay, karna hai, karna hai. I just know that I have to do with this. This will take me somewhere, but I'm not sure where. Okay, so I'm focused more about the journey. I have a destination, but yes, it does take a lot of let's take mental effort. Okay, you have to basically sometimes we stop believing in ourselves. Okay, has there been a time where you stop believing in yourself that all of these things are happening with me? Okay, dropping out, closing of business, then this whole accident, lots of things, right? But see, when you go to that negative spiral, you can think of things at an unparalleled level, right? So, was there a time where you did not believe in yourself? And if there was, right, what is that something again that reboosted you to start things over?
So, I mean, if you ask me as a black and white question of if I ever felt like I don't believe in myself, I really think because I'm a person who's always, high in self-confidence. So, I don't think there was a moment where I was like, I don't believe in myself, but definitely a lot of places where I just wanted, I just wanted probably a quick, easy solution, and I just wanted someone to hand it over to me. Like it just felt so difficult to figure it out all by myself that I wanted some help in terms of somebody just tell me what should I do in this situation. So be it my granddad in those times when I was in home in the lockdown, or be it my mom when I was in bed this time. I think uh, family plays a big role.
When you were in these situations where you were thinking that it's just someone give me that solution in hand, it's difficult for me to figure out, what did you do then?
I didn't do anything. I just kept thinking. I just, I think what I usually do is I talk to either my granddad or my mom about it. Uh, I mean, not as openly, but just the rough thoughts that this is what it is. And, uh, I mean, they mostly have a similar answer, which is हो जाएगा, कर लोगे, right? But I think that's what you need at times.
You had like a beautiful journey where there have been lots of ups, lots of downs. You've had the chance to work with, let's take, quite a few big people in the industry, and there are like bunch of things happened with you in your personal life as well, right? Um, you've been through phases where believing that yes, this is the mindset I have to go ahead with, करना ही है ये कुछ भी हो जाए. I have to keep going no matter what. Okay, that must have been something that must have stuck with you for a long time. That no matter what happens, I have to keep going. Okay, that traveler exploring mentality is something that I guess fuels this whole journey, right?
Yes.
What do you want to say to, let's take, about the current mental health related things? Because I have spoken to, let's take, 100 of people, and there are kids who are currently just 8 to 10 years even old. They are facing mental health issues. Like I know this young person, a friend, family friend's son. Okay, he feels that he's not good enough. He's just 8 years old. Okay, I've spoken to, let's take, a person who's in the industry as well. Okay, and they're currently running a good company. Even they feel the same, right? Seeing that you have had such roller coaster ride related experiences, right? What is your one advice or one thing that you would want to say to these people?
I don't know if there's one advice, man, because I think how I look at things is advices are very contextual. By contextual, what I mean is, like I said, right, a simple advice by my granddad to me at that time made a lot of difference. But now when I think about it, it just looks like another Instagram post, right? So,
Right.
if you ask me one particular advice, I'll just give it as
Just one thing that you would want to say to them.
I think one thing that has helped me, it could be because of my personality, but one thing that has helped me uh, would be definitely that knowing this is temporary. And by that, what I mean is, let's say when I was in bed for 27 days, right? Um, any negative thoughts after a point, I used to just tackle with them saying this is temporary. And when I the moment I say something is temporary, I know that okay, maybe there is a light at the end of the tunnel. So I think that mindset of whenever you're in a space where you don't want to be, telling yourself that this is temporary really helps. Because I mean, when you say yourself that this is temporary, you already know that you can figure shit out from there. So uh,
You are always optimistically hopeful of
yeah,
things might turn at the end.
or I'm an irrational optimist. Uh, I think for me, the glass is always half full. So, which is why my advice is also that look at it from the perspective of that this is temporary.
No, that is fairly, something really great. Okay, I actually follow the same people, so That's totally like something really good. With that, we just come to the end of our whole conversation, and I just have one thing to ask you, and it's basically like a fill in the blanks thing. Okay, so we follow this with, let's take every guest that comes in, and it's around, if you were to, let's take, motivate someone or say someone this particular line, starting with this: have a laksh to XYZ. Okay, so basically you're motivating someone to have a laksh to do XYZ. What would that fill in the blanks be? So you have to say it like have a laksh to XY, like do something. So yeah.
I'll say the sentence. I think have a laksh to win yourself.
Okay.
Because according to me, every decision you make, you have to convince yourself. You have to win your own confidence, right? So I think the goal should be to win yourself in every decision you make. Because another, by the way, I think I didn't mention this throughout. Another principle which I live by is in life, it's always either a fuck yes or a hell no. You can beep the F part if you want, but it's always a fuck yes or a hell no. So uh, it's only going to be a fuck yes if you win yourself in the decisions or the turmoil that you're having inside your head. So I think the race should always be to win yourself.
So that is definitely good. That is something that I feel some everyone should actually. So I'll tell you this. I have this reminder in my Google Calendar which tells me if not now then when. Okay, every day 8 o'clock in the morning it sends me a reminder. If not then when. And I guess this is something new that people should look up to. Have a luck to win yourself. So yeah,
What is your line? Have a lunch too?
have a luck to have a luck. Like, so I'll tell you why. Uh, what I've seen is 90% of people nowadays have forgotten that they need to dream. Okay, you know the thing that we were speaking about, that someone just should come and give me the solution. You know, most of them just want that right now. They just want to sit and give us a solution, and they've forgotten to dream. They've forgotten that kick, that energy, that enthusiasm that we had as kids. So when we were kids, I guess we're the same age, right? So when we were kids, we used to play around, right? Um, Outdoor sports बहुत ज़्यादा होते थे, and उसमें win and lose was a very big thing. Okay, winning and losing, and that's where I guess people have forgotten to dream as well. That कुछ करना है life में. They have just like ठीक है चल रहा है. They're like that, and that is why I have just tried to figure out that one line is just have a luck. If someone has a dream, they will do something about it. Something. So yeah, that's my only line. Have a luck.
Beautiful.
Nothing else.
Beautiful. I mean, dreaming, it's a very integral part of anyone's life journey. So,
Yeah,
yeah, I think completely agree with you on that.
correct. So Divyam, it was amazing talking to you. Like I don't know why, because there are like 90% of things that you said were like, are you talking about my story? Okay. But yes, it has been a very good conversation in the last 1 hour where we spoke about a lot of things. And I'm really happy that you agreed to come on the podcast because it's something that I was looking up to. Okay. And it's great to have you here.
I'm glad. I mean, I'm always up for such conversation. It's just a means to tell your story to yourself because, again, it's something that we don't get to do that often, right? We just remember our stories. We don't tell our stories. So I think one of the reasons why I like being on podcasts or any conversation is because I get to tell my story. So yeah, it was
Def-
getting to be.
yes. Thank you so much, Divyam.
Thank you, Lakshmi.